Hi, this is Sean Garrison, online editor of Cordell & Cordell and DadsDivorce. Today we are joined by Michelle McCready, who is the Director of Policy for Child Care Aware. Child Care Aware is an organization dedicated to helping families learn about the elements of quality child care and how to locate programs within their communities. In December, Child Care Aware released a report examining the rising costs of child care in the United States. The study found that in 30 states, plus Washington, D.C., the average annual cost of enrolling an infant in a center-based daycare program is more than a year's worth of tuition and fees at a public college in that same state. Michelle will discuss the report's findings, some of the reasons child care costs have risen so high, and some possible solutions for creating more affordable child care options. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing today?
Hi, doing well.
Reading through the report, there were a number of statistics that were really jarring and stood out. But in your opinion, what were some of the more interesting or surprising findings from the study?
Absolutely. So I think that parents with young children, they really get sticker shock when they start looking into finding and affording quality child care, with especially infant care, but the 0 to 5 range care. And one of the statistics that really paints this story the best is that infant care in 30 states plus the District of Columbia actually exceeds the cost of public university tuition. And so that, that's over half the states. In the other states, it's pretty close to the university tuition. And so, that's something that especially younger, new parents don't necessarily plan for. You have 18 years to plan for college expenses, but that's the exorbitant amount of money it costs for child care and infant care particularly isn't necessarily something that parents plan for.
Yeah, sure. It's not necessarily new information that childcare in the United States is extremely expensive, but what are some of the reasons that these prices have gotten so high?
Child care is a very labor-intense profession, and the majority of the costs actually go to overhead and salaries for the employees. Obviously, there's lots of costs to running a small business, but because the 0 to 5 age range, it does take quite a bit of level of effort for each caregiver to spend with that, with those children. So, for instance, recommended ratios that we have here for an infant is that there's one caregiver to every 3 infants. Would be a ideal goal. So that's a pretty labor-intensive model, and also, for each age does get a little bit better with the ratio, but it is, does require a lot of staff to make sure that the children are well cared for in a quality child care setting.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the more concerning aspects of this study is that you have these high child care costs combined with the difficulty of finding quality child care and the fact that parents can't really ignore this because of how critical brain development is in children at that age. So with that in mind, do you feel like there needs to be more of a sense of urgency when assessing this issue?
That's exactly right. This is really a critical issue of not just our time, but of time in general. As we've learned more, research has shown more about brain science, we do see that about 90% of brain development does occur in those first 5 years. And so we know it's a critical time. Children are learning to speak or learning really the foundation for learning and success for the trajectory of their life. So we really do want to stress the urgency of having children in a quality environment and how important that is, not just for parents that need peace of mind to work and contribute to the current workforce, but for the future workforce, for our economy, and to be competitive, we want to make sure that children are starting school ready for success.
Yeah, sure. The report also published several recommendations for addressing these high costs. In your opinion, what are the first steps that need to be taken to start tackling this issue and creating more affordable childcare?
Sure. So I think that one of the biggest roles that everyone can play is that we really do need to have a national discussion at the community, state, local, federal policymaker level, and talk about the impact of the high cost of child care and the cost of quality of child care. And this conversation really should explore different state and federal options. We do have a place in the report that talks about what some communities are doing, and in low-cost solutions that have shown success, in different communities in different states, and also look to other nations for potential models. And so when we see partnerships between the private sector, the public sector, and policymakers, we really want to make sure that, one, the urgency is there, and also that the investment is there to make sure that we are taking care of our youngest children.
Thank you, Michelle.
Of course, thank you.
That was Michelle McCready, Director of Policy for Child Care Aware. To read Child Care Aware's full report on child care costs in the United States, be sure to visit childcareaware.org. You can also find additional information about the report at DadsDivorce.com. This has been Sean Garrison, online editor of Cordell & Cordell and Dad's Divorce. Thank you for joining us.